And welcome to episode 162 of Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. My name is Jack. On this March the 8th of 2026 with my fellow hosts of
Brian,
Duncan,
Jamie,
and John,
and very special guest.
everyone's favorite tech priest, Josh.
Outstanding. Thank you for joining again tonight, sir. Your insight
guys.
last week was both amazing in its depth and girth.
I'm not going to take the bait on that one. I believe this is a family-friendly podcast.
It is?
I'm not certain what family or whose, but it's someone's.
Ooh, about that. So before we get any further down the well of depravity, let's do a quick word from our sponsors.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
Sponsors. And thank you to our patrons. Without you, none of this would be possible. Also, don't forget to check out our merch, because I definitely forgot to have to record that commercial over the week. My bad on that. Just now thought about it. But before we get any further down that well, who wants to start off with hobby progress for the week?
Sure.
Oh God, this is gonna be scary.
I didn't do that much this week. I finished off all the Heavy Sentinels on Wednesday night when we were on our hangout. I got a little bored of painting a lot, so I broke out the new 30k Magos. Turns out he's full of many tiny little pieces, but goes together so much better than the 40k Magoses and all the other crap that I've been building for that army. Also started work on one of the mini Thanatars that Josh has decided to impregnate my brain with. I'm going to have to do a lot of those. I got a Baron of Dice tape measure in and super glued the hell out of a challenge coin to the side of it, so now I've got a Cobra themed tape measure. And then I found out that I missed one of my Cobra drivers when I was priming stuff, so I got him primed and zenithial highlighted. And then I broke out the contrast paints and the airbrush and got all those guys base coated, and then finished off the command squad before coming on tonight. And then on the normal Sentinel front, I got all their tracks painted, I got all their guns painted, and I got the Cobras on the sides painted. So now I just need to seal them, gloss the canopies, and glue everything together, and then finish all said drivers and gunners for both the die-cast and the printed hisses. And then I'll be ready for Adepticon.
Did you do anything else?
With only 16 goes. No, that's it. Many Adepticon stuffs and a little bit of post-Adepticon work.
Was the banners in there? Did you count the banners?
Oh yeah, I got banners printed for the podcast. So I got two 2x3 foot posters, advertising posters for sale, and then I got a big 3 foot by 5 foot banner, advertising us in general.
Thank you for that,
for the
by
podcast. Yeah, and then I got in my Dark Arts 2 thin coats paint set. They work just like other 2 thin coats, but they're darker. So I'll try to be using those in some of my other future upcoming projects as I try to get more away from GW as we go into the news later. Maybe a reason behind that.
All right. Anything else, John?
That's it.
You didn't clean any other 3D prints, work on a table, clean up a Warlord Titan?
No.
Convince me to make the most evil list in history of mankind that's not fun to play against?
That wasn't even me. That's the funny part. I have gotten you into some weird shit, but that one wasn't me.
Was it me?
No, I'm certain that this is actually you, because for some reason he's not been blaming me for this. So it's got to come from you, John.
I accept full credit.
Nope, Brian, your time will come, sir. Your time will come.
And that time is now. Brian, what'd you do?
Brian did a whole lot of awesome and excellent work, even with having really weird eyes right now on Battletech minis, because we are a Battletech podcast. I blocked in colors for the Theta Galaxy mechs I've been working on. I got everything that wasn't based, and I painted the basing material. I did a test mini of the tan and orange with the wash over top of it to see if I remembered which wash I actually used, and my eyeballs are so goofy right now I can't even tell if it's the right wash, and I forgot to ask my wife to see what she thought, so didn't do any more of those. And I played a game with said Battletech minis because we are a Battletech podcast, and I absolutely kicked the shit out of some Davion. Suck it. Plain wolf out.
I hope Duncan's just twitching.
Speaking of Duncan, what'd you do?
Assembled a Contemptor Osiris Dreadnought for Thousand Suns, and I assembled a Librarian for Thousand Suns, and I unboxed 3,000 posters.
And a lot of posters.
There's a lot of posters.
You say it was like over 200 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, there's 200 and some pounds of posters sitting on my gaming table right now. I went through and I unboxed all of them. I labeled all of the boxes as to what's in each box. I still need to find another box for our stuff that we have left over from last year to throw that stuff in. But yeah. I did basically a whole bunch of Adepticon prep. Oh, and then I ordered a cart that has arrived so that we can carry stuff. Can
it support 300 pounds of posters?
It can support 500 pounds. So if it can't hold up the 200 plus pounds of posters and however many pounds of booze, then we have a problem. I also got another stand-up that has arrived for putting banners on that John has ordered. And I think that's it, honestly. I didn't really do a whole bunch this week. I've been kind of swamped with work. So, Jamie, what have you done?
A lot. I finished my Dark Angels Saturnine Praetor, which I did most of the work today, but it's done. Everything on it. My whole Dark Angels army I finished like today, other than doing the black on the bases rims. And then I started on priming these. If you look at the picture, and those, if you're going to be at Adepticon, you will see. I've got a bunch of these that I have to paint this week. But yeah, so other than that, I mean, I've been pretty busy. So kitty things, wife things, and then I got a decent amount of painting in the past 48 hours. So I'm content.
Very nice.
So anybody else who hasn't gone yet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay, because my hobby progress was playing 52 hours on what's your Ultimate Admiral's Dreadnoughts, and I bought the game on Wednesday and I already put in 52 hours.
Obviously, Jack's army is ready for Adepticon.
When you already have 10,000 points worth of Ultramarines painted, somehow apparently another legal Death Guard army, even though all of 2nd edition, that army was not legal.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess technically my Knight's army is legal again.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Math.
Math
is hard.
I don't know how to knight anymore. But I did kick it over to Josh and said, "Did you get any hobby progress since last we spoke, sir?"
Yeah, progress continues on the Warlord Titan. Morale is improving slowly. I have washed all of the metal, and now I've shaded all the trim, or almost pretty much all the trim. I'm close. I magnetized all the void shields up on top. She'll be done. She'll make it for Adepticon. So
cool. So the beatings obviously are working if your morale is improving.
Yes.
The servitor clades don't feel pain.
Ooh.
That's just because you don't understand their screaming in binary.
0010101. All I hear is a toaster.
That's racist.
What?
It's a clanker.
That's racist.
Oh my god.
Toaster jokes are a time-honored tradition in Mechanicum. It's okay, guys.
All right. I'm going to change your name to Mr. Toaster. God, I hate every single one of you except for you, Josh. You're okay. And you, Jamie, you're also all right.
Still racist.
God. Okay, so what's next? We've done our hobby. How about John? Over to you with the news.
The news. So this week saw the release of a bunch of Corsairs. So we've got the Raiders for 65. We've got the Captain for 43. The upgrade pack for 35. Great for fishing bits out of. That's really kind of all that happened for release-wise. Coming up next week, we've got the I lost count of how many re-releases of Horus Rising.
And how many editions?
And another super collector's edition of Horus Rising. This will be the 4th or 5th. I've lost count of that too.
That's pretty thick too.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of other books coming out. Looks like they're doing their Black Library celebration starting next week. So if you go into the stores, you'll get a free book.
Yeah,
I think that's the same cover image they used last year, to be completely honest with you. They're getting pretty lazy with these things. And then they've bounded up more of the Siege of Terra books. And that's really it. From the official GW, we saw the release of more Black Book Fluff PDFs during the week.
This was all about my boys, the World Leaders.
Yeah. Another art article, this time with assassins and Imperial agents. And since you can take assassins and heresy armies, this kind of relates.
Yes, the old Eversor. Yeah. Some of that artwork is old and cool. So, no, don't mind my alarm for my back door. Someone's doing something out there. I don't know what.
As referenced earlier, GW has decided to yet again change their paints. We don't know if it's going to be colors this time, but we know it's going to be changing names. They're getting away from Citadel color because you are too stupid to understand that those go on Warhammer models.
Didn't the article say that the paints aren't changing just the name? I know famous last words, but
yes, that's what they said in the article. However, we've seen how GW articles are never correct.
Like I said, famous last words.
And how many times has GW said they're not changing the paint formulation or anything, and then they change the paint formulation?
Exactly.
I wouldn't lie to you.
So
I
wouldn't
lie to you. Just GW and every other paint company out there would never lie to us about changing a paint formula. They've always used the same paints with the same names and the same colors, right?
I'm pretty sure Pro Krill has stuck to their guns on not changing.
I was going to say, Pro Krill, as far as I know, hasn't changed the paint formulation.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else that one time.
And what's going to be better is probably the price increase that comes with this name change, would be my guess too.
Yeah.
Or
So
there'll probably be, if it'll be a stealth one, where it'll be smaller, less content in the same size.
Right.
Hot.
So what
My
I'm
guess
hearing
is they're doing this so they can.
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to say, my guess is they're doing this so they can fit more.
Air into the pot?
No, more languages on the side of the bottle. There was that weird Canadian law that passed that everything had to have both English and French names on everything. And some companies don't have French names on it, so you can see they've got the Japanese on there as well. So that's one of my reasons behind this rebranding.
All I know is I need to go to my friendly local neighbor and the 3 pots of GW paint that I actually use on a regular basis. I need to go ahead and buy all.
I'll get you the conversion chart I used. Most GW paints you can find from other companies now.
I know, but it's still, I like this keeping it the same. But that does actually take me into a handy transition dealing with the news. Oh yeah. I don't know if you saw this, but they've put out the list of Pro Krill 1-steps.
I did not see that.
The list of paints. They have and I can send you the link real fast so you can have it if you want to throw it up. I'll put it in the host chat.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up after the other paint talk.
Yeah, so but they have they have a warm yellow, which I'm hoping is a good replacement for Imperial Fist contrast paint.
Yeah, so we've got blue, royal purple, crimson, dark blue, black, warm yellow, dark green, shadow flesh, graphite green, graphite gray, dark green brown, warm brown, and orange.
Yeah, if I can make it down there in time, I want that, and I want the Pro Krill 1-step median that supposedly turns any Pro Krill paint into a 1-step application, because I think that will be good for airbrushing and whatnot. I'm
definitely interested in getting that medium and giving that a try.
Yeah. But I'm already working in my head using that royal purple as a 1-step for Emperor Children's, trying to work out a scheme for that already. Not that I want to do Emperor Children, I want to paint purple.
Yeah. Next up, Joy Toy drops some more stuff. This time for the Khan Sons, we've got a White Scar Contemptor Dread with Multi-Melta and Fist. We've got Hibu Khan with Sword and Dagger. And Quinza with a couple swords.
Okay, neat.
Modifice announced that they're re-releasing with a new edition Fallout, the miniatures game. I just thought I'd put it up because, every now and then we get things. The weirdest part to me was the fact that the game is 8 years old between editions.
I got it on that original Kickstarter, and I've still never played it.
Yeah, same. I bought 2 boxes, one for me, one for a friend, and he gave me his box after opening it because it was just too confusing.
I have the core set and some extra stuff. Never played it.
Yeah, I did one demo
that I got from Adepticon years ago.
I did a demo game at Adepticon, and it was confusing as hell. Too many tokens. More paint news. So we know Vallejo came out with their metallic line, not to be outdone. Ammo is deciding to release their own set of metallic line. So they're doing the same thing Vallejo did, where they're coming out with the same color as a base coat, a wash, and a highlight.
Do they also add in a airbrush?
No, they did not. Vallejo's the only one that did that.
Man, at some point I feel like we're already there, but we're gonna hit market saturation for all the paints, and it's gonna be not good for any store that is convinced by their fan base to buy into this stuff and drop $1,000, $2,000 in stuff that doesn't move. And I feel bad for those stores.
I think we're already starting to see that.
Oh yeah. And if you want to get even worse,
No.
we talked last week about the Gundam Assemble game getting announced this week. So the Gundam Assemble game was dropped. Their starter sets, they've got a deluxe starter set, which is a 5v5 game for $105. And then the basic starter set is only going to be, I think it was $35 or $40. Yeah, $35.99 down here for the 3v3 starter.
That's not bad.
To coincide with the drop of the game, they've come out with their own line of acrylic paints.
So these are acrylics and not lacquer paints?
Correct.
Okay.
That don't need a
Are they Mr. Hobby
chemical degree.
made?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I've never been that happy with Mr. Hobby metallics. I've used some of their lacquer based before, and it was nice, but it was kind of a pain in the ass and stinky. But it'll be interesting to see what these are like when they finally hit the stores. I don't like mixing paints, so if I can just pull these out of the pot and paint correct Gundam colors or things like that, it'll be nice. Especially these char reds and pinks are really weird colors that most companies don't make.
I don't know. I've never
Well,
tried.
I'm interested with that Char Red.
I've never tried Mr. Hobby paints before. Not from this. Never had anything that I couldn't get in Tamiya. And, all right, now I have Tamiya, so it's.
Red Grass Games announced that they're coming out with their own version of the single-bladed nippers. So they've got the
rituals. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, they do. Red Grass has usually been really good about making their own stuff, but yeah, these look a lot like our UI tools or all the other kind of single-bladed nippers. They come out with two different versions. They've got the basic sprue cutters, and then the precision nippers.
So the 1.0 and the 3.0.
Yeah.
Hold on. Give us a better look at the actual nipper itself.
That looks like the 3.0 right there in that picture that John got centered. The way
that looks other than like the logo bit, almost identical to the RUI tools that I'm holding in my hands right now.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Those are the 3.0s. The 1.0s are a little different.
Yep.
Okay, neat.
Yep. So more and more companies are getting onto the single-bladed nipper. It wouldn't surprise me if GW comes out with one a few years down the line.
They cost like $900.
Yeah. So the sprue cutters basic model is $43.99. The precision one is $54.99 from Red Grass.
Wow. Like I've seen like the good God Hand ones cheaper than that recently.
Yeah, and the RUI ones went up a lot.
Well,
they're in the 30s or 40s now.
You used to be able to get the 1.0 for like 17, and then like the 3.0s for like under 30. But
that's another great reason for 3D printing because I don't have sprues.
You still need crappy cutters to get all the supports off.
I just shake it a lot, like
Yeah, I actually like have to use cutters, dude. Like I went and bought like a 10 for $7 of like sprue cutters, like crappy ones, just to cut them off.
Yeah, I was buying those crappy blue handled ones that you usually find at hobby shops for $7. I was picking them up for $1 or $2 a piece and using them as event prizes for everyone that showed up. But that, gentlemen, is all the news.
That's what she said.
Okay. So, no more news?
No más news.
Cool.
I find it frustrating that we keep getting new paint lines, but nobody carries my favorite paint line anywhere, and that's Vallejo Air.
Oh, thank God.
I find it annoying that there's not a lot of companies making good brushes. I'm really hoping that these Monument Sable brushes are going to be worth a crap.
Me too.
These are right here some of my favorite metals I've ever used. Vallejo Metal Color Air, and I can only find them, or I used to be able to find them in one store in Lexington. Now they don't even carry them. So I have to buy them from Amazon.
Do you know why that was?
I don't.
So their factory had a big problem, and there was a strike, and then they redesigned the paints. They've actually got a whole new label now, and a bunch of other crap came out with those. So yeah, they're still making them. It's just slow getting back to the States.
I remember reading about it, and I remember us talking about their strike doing that, but I haven't been able to find them for years.
Yeah, my local has just started restocking them now. They were out for almost a year and a half. I had to go buy leftover of like 3 or 4 packs from Hobby Lobby that hadn't moved to finish off my nights.
I've started transitioning to Pro Acryl for my metallics.
I will admit, I have really liked the Pro Acrylic metallics that I've been using for the Mechanicum.
Yeah,
I wish there was more
over here.
I wish there was more of what they had, but that steel and the magnesium are awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That magnesium is really nice. I will agree.
Yep, that's my base color for most of my Mechanicum for my skeletons is the magnesium, and then steel for highlight.
Yeah.
The only reason I haven't been using the magnesium for some of my stuff is because Jamie huffs super glue to get high. It's because I've still got some of this left, and it's already a base air color, so I don't really have to mix it at all to get it to flow.
Just make sure you shake those occasionally because they do solidify pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do shake the hell out of them.
Yeah, I didn't touch one of mine for like 6 months, and it turned into a brick.
Ooh, that's no bueno. No bueno at all. So I guess it's off to the meat and taters. Ooh, or should we do our giveaway that we've announced and been running for a bit? Should we do that first?
Well, we could hide it in the middle, but that way people have to search for it.
We could.
We are in the middle, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are in the middle.
Exactly.
All right. Hold on. If we want to do this now for the giveaway for the New Year Who Dis Army, we can do that right now. What do you all think?
I say go ahead and knock it out, sir.
All right. So let me...
That way when we got to wake up Brian, he knows what's going on.
What?
Exactly.
Where?
All right. I'm going to go ahead and... Random.org. Not at all what I need. All right. So, let me turn my stream on. So, as you all have listened and know, we have been running the contest for New Year painted models resolution, getting a full 3K army painted and done, pledged on our Discord. And we have, at this point, 15 people who have succeeded in the first step of that pledge during the target period. And of those 15 people, I have the names from the Discord for the people who actually submitted their names at the beginning or during the month leading up to it, and have actually completed what they've said they were going to complete. So, 15 people, 15 names. Josh, since you are here, I will ask you to pick a number between 1 and 20, and I will hit the random number generator that many times to see who is the name that comes up.
You're going to hit that 11 times.
Number 6 on the list.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Bat Faster.
Bat Faster. No.
All right.
Can't talk.
Bat Faster. Congratulations, sir. You won the Legion Astartes Battle Group.
Ooh,
Yep. Congratulations, sir. I will get with you and figure out how to get that to you as soon as possible. Those of you who are not participating in this, why not? It's free. All you got to do is paint miniatures, post them on our Discord, and participate. You get a free shot at stuff. It's awesome.
As a reminder, next 500 point giveaway will be for a combat force of dealer's choice: Mechanicum, Marines, or Solar Rocks.
See? Free stuff given away by us because we think
Good
you're awesome.
stuff.
We want to encourage you to paint more stuff. So come participate. It's free. And it's easy. All you gotta do is paint, which we have to do anyway, right? Anyway, so Josh, thank you for that, sir. I appreciate your help with that. And I will go ahead and say, take it away with Mechanicum Part 2.
All right. So we left off last time, and I bored you guys all to tears with all of the special rules in Mechanicum, of which there are entirely too many. In the last week, I have actually finished publishing the Horus Heresy Mechanicum Guide for the Novice Tech Priest. So I believe I've linked that everywhere where this episode was posted. If you guys want to include this in the show notes or whatever, you're welcome to. That is going to be a help for anyone who is new to the Mechanicum faction. It is helpful if you're it is also helpful if you're new to the Horus Heresy and interested in Mechanicum, but I don't go over basic Horus Heresy rules in here. You'll have to dig through your big rule book and your Liber Mechanicum alongside of this. I'm not typing out stats and rule descriptions for you guys. But it is a resource that everyone can take a look at. And I also have a sample list in here, which we will probably be going over later in this episode, because I think it is a good list for people who are interested in Mechanicum and want to start the faction with the plastic models. But first, I figure let's go through some of the standout units. Guys, help me during this. If I take too long on any particular unit, if I start getting into the weeds, keep me on track. If I can talk for hours on this shit. You guys know that. So help me out here.
All right. You're good.
So pretty much every Mechanicum army is going to start with an Archmagos. They are the sole high command choice. There's two options for them. You could take the one on foot or one on an abeyant. An abeyant is a fancy word for something that the Archmagos uses to walk that isn't their own two legs. It could be, like the Forge World one has a floating pulpit, the floating battle pulpit that Dracovac sits on. There's, you could model a Archmagos who's welded himself into a Domitar robot and is now walking on the Domitar's legs. You could model one that's sitting on a palanquin carried by tech thralls. There's modeling options galore for abeyance, and they're tons of fun to build. I have built entirely too many Archmagos conversions. It's one of the most enjoyable things that I find in the Mechanicum hobbying. They're the heart and soul of the Mechanicum army, and boy, do they have a beefy stat line. Especially if you have the abeyant. They're T7, 7 wounds. They've got beefy saves, including a feel no pain. Like, they are going to be very, very hard to kill. They also get quite expensive when you gear them out. There is an extensive upgrade list for them of gear, weapons, both melee and ranged. You can take a whole bunch of cyberthurgy powers, and oftentimes you'll end up with 250, 275 points into a single character if you take all the options. Which, to me, that's kind of the point of the model, right? The more points you cost, the closer you are to the Omnissiah. They are absolute beasts on the table. They will humiliate Praetors in duels just through their sheer toughness 7. On a standard champion, they're going to pretty much wipe the floor with. I would consider them the equivalent of a Saturnine Praetor, pretty much on the tabletop in terms of combat power. Once you kit them out with like a Paragon Blade, I guess, is okay. It's only damage 1. Power Fist, now we're talking. Thunderhammer, now we're talking for sure. These guys can absolutely smack around with the best of them. You can make a cheaper Archmagos work. You don't have to go all in on them. But then they're going to be consigned to more of a backline support job. The Archmagos determines the overall theme of your army because you have to match their Arcana to your Apex detachment. That's going to give you the theme. If you're playing a robot army, you probably have a Cybernetica Archmagos, and then you would call this a Cybernetica army. Last note on these guys, and this is common among all Abeyance. Mechanicum does not have the ability to gain an extra reaction through taking their high command choice. Like Marines get the extra bonus reaction from taking a Praetor. Archmagi don't confer that. Instead, this is done through the Abeyant War Gear. Has the ability of called Command Throne. You can take an intelligence check and give yourself a free reaction, basically. It is limited to once per army per turn. So even if you have multiple Abeyants, you don't get multiple free reactions. You're definitely taking an Archmagos in pretty much every Mechanicum army. If you're taking an allied detachment, maybe not. You're probably not special assignmenting your Archmagos in. But if you're playing primary Mechanicum, you're taking an Archmagos. They're the only way to get an Apex detachment, and the Apex detachment is where the meat and the character of the army starts to shine through. So then we go to command. We've got the Magos profile with their optional Abeyant as well. They have slightly less stats than the Archmagos, as befitting their next rung down on the totem pole status. But you can take up to 3 of them. You're probably taking at least 2 in a Mechanicum army. They come with Officer of the Line 2, the same ability that Centurions have that give you access to 2 detachments. This is absolutely critical for building a Mechanicum army. These guys are anchoring your big units of robots or your brick of tech thralls. They're casting the buffs that we really need to stick the buff. If you got a brick of Domitars that's about to charge into an enemy Terminator blob and you really want to stick those buffs, you're going to have a Magos cast it, not a Tech Priest. It gives you better odds, and they're probably up in the battle anyways. These guys are also your primary source of scoring through Comptroller, which I will get into later as we talk about the sample army in here. But these guys are functionally the line anchors of your army. They will hand out this extra scoring ability to anyone that they join. Then let's get into the last command choice, which is the Arcuator Magisterium. They are the Inquisition of the Mechanicum, making sure that you're doing the right amount of tech heresy. For Loyalists, that's 0. For traitors, you have to be doing all the tech heresy, sir. We will accept nothing less.
Okay.
They are the only Milagre unit in the book, and they are astounding duelists. They are in contention for the best in the game, up there with stuff like Custodes Tribunes, and they're probably not on Primarch level, but anything less than a Primarch, they're going to be on at least equal footing. And even a standard Legion champion with Paragon of Battle, they are going to absolutely just clown all over them. It's unbelievable the amount of raw stats that you can get on an Arcuator. They hit weapon skill 8 without trying. If you really want it, you can get them to weapon skill 10. If you don't need to go to weapon skill 10, you can instead give them 8 Thunderhammer attacks in a challenge, which is it's astounding. Mm-hmm. They are very, very fun. That being said, they are a little bit tricky to get in your list with an appropriate retinue around them and stuff. And it does limit them in the cost that you're going to incur putting them on the table, basically. They also have a super cool model from Forge World. You can convert a whole bunch of different ones, of course. But the one from Forge World is a super cool tech priestess, and she comes with a little scribe guy that's writing the tech heresy crimes on the list behind her. every model needs a little goober in Mechanicum. Like, I'm looking at my shelf right now, and probably 2/3 of my HQs have some sort of a little goober on their base somewhere, like a little servo skull following them around, or a little skittering mecha bug thing that's following them around. Like, that's part of the joy of Mechanicum.
Okay, the model is cool. I will give you that.
All right.
So a question that I have, if I may, sir.
Yeah. Let's go.
So on both of the Archmagos and regular Magos, and then you put them on abeyance for, for the Archmago, it's for 30 more points. You get a +1 leadership and +1 toughness for just 30 more points.
And I believe you get bonus wounds.
Oh, I didn't even look at wounds. I was sold at leadership 10 and tough 7 for 30 points. That's where I was at.
Yeah. So you get a +1 toughness. You get up. The wounds is actually the same.
Okay.
Your initiative drops by 1. And then
leadership
you pick
goes
up.
up.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you also pick up bulky 7.
I've been bulky my whole entire life.
Implacable. You pick up implacable advance, which is always nice. You pick up command throne, and then the anti-grav type, which helps out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I just thought that was interesting for 30 points. I feel like you pick up a lot for that.
You really do. Toughness 7 is big. And more often than not, if I have the points, I'm taking the Abeyant upgrade. Like, not only is it pretty cheap for what you get, the modeling opportunities for an Archmagos on Abeyant is just so much more fun.
Real quick question.
And yeah.
The Abeyant, is it only available to the Archmagos?
No, you can get on the Magos.
Nope. You can pick up a Magos on Abeyant too.
Okay.
Which also
Most people just model it as a fatter model.
It could. It's any way that the Magos isn't just hoofing it on their own 2 feet. They don't have to schlep themselves around the battlefield. There's something else to do that. It could be the anti-gravity pulpit. People wire their Archmagos into a robot chassis and have them walk around on that. I've seen a palanquin that's like a Roman emperor being carried aloft on a throne by tech thralls. People wire them into like the Cataphron.
I've got some ideas here.
There's lots of cool stuff you can do with this.
I want to see the 1982 Dune, the Baron, the fat bastard in the big floating suit. I want to see that.
Yep. That's an Abeyant. Basically, anything that you think looks really cool for a big-ass bulky Archmagos will qualify as an Abeyant.
Outstanding.
On that note, GW ships a 40mm base with their Archmagos out of the box.
That seems small.
An Archmagos base is whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Oh.
I've got Archmagi all the way up to 100mm bases, and as long as it's appropriate for the model, just go nuts.
Yeah, it seems like the GW, the official Forge World one, comes on a 60/65.
Yes, it does. That being said, I own that model, and you can easily upsize it onto an 80mm base, and it looks more appropriate because it covers most of the 60.
I'm just thinking of modeling a guy like the Fabricator General from If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device on top of this giant mountain of toasters and microwaves and all this other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People like to use Belisarius Call as an Archmagos on Abeyant too. He's got a pretty sweet model, and it's really easy to make a super cool Archmagos out of him. 40K has a lot of pretty good Archmagos and Magos and Tech Priest models that you can use as the starting point for insane conversions. My particular army theme, I've gone trader, and I've started incorporating Necron elements into all of my HQs. Like they've grafted themselves onto a Canoptech spider body or something. There's a lot of fun modeling opportunities here.
You heretic.
Takes one to know one, Brian. Don't you play Death Guard?
Of course he
Allegedly.
does.
It might be Alpha Legion. We're not sure.
Thought your wife played Alpha Legion.
Anyway,
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
before Brian gets us sidetracked, because I know him well.
All right, let's head back to the army list. Next off, we arrive at our troops choice, which is really weird for all of you non-Mechanicum players out there. We don't have any, like we only have one troops choice, and it's tech priests, which don't come in a unit. They come singletons, which is going to sound really, really weird. But it after like 6 months of playing this, I guess it makes sense to me. But we don't have any basic troops units. All of our basic troops units are in the support slot, which means that the only way to fill out our Crusade detachment is with tech priests. They are the rank and file robot herders. They are 30 points for a bare bones tech priest, and they come with a pretty decent stat line. They're, strength 5, toughness 5, 2 wounds. They've got a pretty decent save. They've got a feel no pain in there. And they've got this access to the same gigantic war gear lists that the Magos do. So they can all take graviton guns and melted guns and flamers and the standard power weapons and power fists, chain fists, and thunder hammers. They've got access to it all. So you can make a whole bunch of different tech priest loadouts. You can make them just a straight support caster that casts buffs, or you can kit them out for a little bit of combat. Like they can add a little bit of firepower to a unit with a graviton gun, chucking a template out there that causes pinning. Statuses are always big this edition. You can kit them out with a melee weapon and add a little bit of punch to any unit that you attach them to. They don't have to be buff casters. You can kit them out for straight combat. I actually have 8 tech priests on my desk with thunderhammers and maxima bolters for a super meme list that I'm running at Adepticon. It is going to be super weird and tons of fun. But they are a true core of Mechanicum. They're going to be in pretty much every list that you run. You're going to have at least one tech priest. They're a really good place to get your logistics benefits for building a list. It is 30 points to fill the prime slot in the Crusade detachment, and then unlock an elites or a retinue choice or a war machine choice. And then we also have a handy-dandy little Ox detachment called Apprentice Cadre, which is 4 troop slots, one of which is prime. So for the low cost of 1 Ox detachment filled with 1 tech priest, you can have a retinue or elite slot tag along, which is really helpful in list building. If you want to take like a random Myrmidon unit, but you don't want to run the Myrmidax Apex detachment, but you're like, I just want 1 unit. Grab a tech priest, logistics benefit the Myrmidons in, away you go. All right, what is next? Let's talk about retinues, because I love the Mechanicum's retinues. We have 2 of them. Silax is first. These guys are the wobbly armed shrimp from Forge World. They are still resin only models, but they're blenders. These little guys are blenders. They are base weapon skill 5, the only weapon skill 5 unit in Mechanicum. But remember, we also have access to guide. So these guys, when you need them to be, are also weapon skill 6. These guys are my preferred Arcuator bodyguards. They are decently cheap. I believe they're like 25 points or something. And they come stock with rad furnaces as well, which automatically apply phage toughness to anything in melee with them, which is pretty neat. I like these guys a lot. They blend pretty much everything they touch.
Aren't these units pretty rare though?
They are. The lore for them is that they are the most advanced automata on any given Forge world, so they're usually used as bodyguards for the ruling synod, the council of Archmagi that command the Forge world. They're pretty neat. I like running these guys. Next up, we have Echidnax, which is the budget retinue unit. These little shrimps. They are absurdly cheap for what you get. They cost the same amount of points as a tactical marine. They're 10 points each, but you get 2 wounds, T5, 3-up save, a 5-up invuln. They've got a ghetto-ass power fist as their melee weapon, and they can carry a bolter for cheap.
Okay.
These guys are insultingly undercosted. That being said, they turn off when there's no character attached to the unit. If they don't have a tech priest in with them, they're bricked. They're sitting in the deployment zone. They can't move. They can't shoot. They can't do anything. But wow, they are so much. They're so cheap. They're so cheap for what you get, guys. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. All right. I'm kind of just moving through the book in order here.
Okay.
And next up is the elite slot. First, we have Domitars, which are they're linebacker robots, right? They're big dumb himbo brute bots. Like they've got big punchy fists, they've got missile launchers on their backs, and they like to get into melee. They are surprisingly fast. They have the fast 2 rule, which means that they can just randomly book a charge at like 10 inches, no problem, between their setup and their actual charge move. That does turn off when you have a character joined to them, because none of the Mechanicum characters are fast. I'm actually going to take a minute and talk about this because I think this is important. Mechanicum characters are slow. Most of them are move 6. They have no way to speed them up. We can't take the jump. We used to be able to take a jump pack on Mechanicum HQs, but no, that got lost with the edition change. There is no way to speed them up. It's just the characters are all slow and plodding, which does hinder a lot of the faster robot units. If you put a Magos in with your Domitars, he's going to slow the whole unit down. The Domitars are move 7, they're faster than he is, and he's going to remove fast 2 from the unit. It's a personal frustration that I have, because I tend to play some of the faster models in Mechanicum quite a bit. And getting the characters to keep up with them is a little bit of a pain. Domitars split their killing power equally between ranged attacks and melee attacks. They've got Firestorm and Implacable Advance, so they get to volley fire their Graviton hammers and essentially get like a baby second shooting phase. The Graviton hammers are a really good gun. They're straight damage 2, and they've got breaching on them, So you'll do a lot of damage with double tapping on those graviton hammers. And then their fists are roughly the same kind of profile. They're base AP3 with breaching and straight damage 2 on the fists. Domitars will make a mess of pretty much anything that they get to charge into. They're also Vanguard. Melee Vanguard, we all know the issues with melee. It was trying to score melee Vanguard, right? It's super easy for your opponent to move, react, and reposition their tacticals off of the objective, and then you don't get to score your melee Vanguard. But Domitars are definitely a good unit to include with Robot Mechanicum. They are the single hardest melee punch that Mechanicum can deliver.
And I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different model. As you're going through these models, I'm looking at every single model so I can equate what you're talking to an actual picture, so I apologize.
Yep. Yeah, so Domitars are still resin models.
Okay.
We hope that they will be plastic soon, but they are unfortunately...
Jack, you need to talk to me later.
Yeah, there are
something you need.
there is a really good STL for them out there. I will not name names because I want to keep this STL around for as many people as I can.
Is it the 3-pack? Is it the 3-pack one?
It is, yeah. I just printed 4 of them. I just printed 4 of them for a friend.
Yeah,
really high quality STL.
Yeah, it's a Domitar, the Iron Circle, and I can't remember the Jump Pack one, right?
Yep, we'll get to the Arl attacks in a little while because they're some of my favorite Mechanicum units. I have 9 of them, which is far more than I will ever field. But the idea of, hey, this robot wasn't killing enough, so we strapped a jump pack and blender fists to it and just said go.
Jesus.
It tickles me. So let's continue on our elites. We got Myrmidons next. Myrmidon Secutors are the melee version. They've got a big axe and 2 shoulder-mounted guns, which you can take Maxim bolters, graviton guns, or phased plasma fusils. These guys were disgusting last edition. They were downright abusive, and thankfully they've been toned down a little bit. I would say that Myrmidon Secutors are now a very balanced unit. If you're going to take these guys, don't mess around with the Maxima bolters. They're pretty forgettable. Just pay the points to take a big boy gun on these guys, and you'll be a lot happier. They have Vanguard 3, and they're a shooting unit. They can take dual phased plasma fusils, which, they will absolutely chew apart a tactical squad from 24 inches away, and they will score you 3 Vanguard points every single turn. These guys are point scoring machines. That being said, their axe looks really, really impressive. It's just a regular power axe. They're writing a check that they cannot cash in melee. I really want to like Myrmidon Secutors. I have a decent number of them in a bunch of different loadouts, and I think they're really interesting. But right now, a lot of what I see in them is scoring Vanguard 3. And boring, reliable point scores isn't really like it's not an exciting role to fill in an army where these guys are an elite choice. They're a unique sculpt. They look really cool. They're these like giant tech priests who have augmented themselves with weapons. Like they become living weapons and armor. And being boring point scorers doesn't sit nicely with me. These guys are still resin models, but their brothers, the Myrmidon Destructors, have recently been released in plastic, so it is only a matter of time before we see these guys in plastic. They should probably be here this year. I do want to say that you can do the funniest thing ever with the Myrmidon Secular Lord. He's base +1 ballistic skill off of the other guys. He's base ballistic skill 5. And you can give him a twin graviton gun. And then when you guide him to ballistic skill 6, that graviton gun is now critting on 6s, which turns it into a 5-inch template of auto wounding AP2 damage 2. And it just becomes a little black hole. I think that is a really funny trick that these guys can do. We just alluded to it. Their brothers, the Myrmidon Destructors, are now in plastic. They look really good. I'm very pleased with how GW took the resin interpretation of these guys and turned it into the plastic kits. These guys carry heavy weapons. They pack the big guns and the same Vanguard 3 as Seculars, but I don't see these guys really as Vanguard scoring. These guys carry dark fire cannons, which are probably one of the standout anti-Terminator guns in Mechanicum. They're high strength. They are heavy damage, so they go to damage 2 when stationary, and they're AP2 with 2 shots. So these guys will spit out a good amount of firepower and chew through some Terminators on foot, and they've got suppressive 2 for a hefty status check. Like, these guys are throwing out statuses every turn. They've got conversion beamers as well. Mechanicum conversion beamers are a little bit sad. They never step up to AP2. They're always stuck at AP3, which is, it's all right. It's great for mulching tactical squads, but I feel like everything in the Mechanicum book is really good at mulching tactical squads. Like, give us a weapon that's doing something different, and then we'll talk. So I see the dark fire cannons on these guys as their kind of premier loadout. Conversion beamers are solid. The default Volkite culverins are acceptable, and the irradiation engines rip that boy on. They got absolutely nerfed into the ground this edition.
Yeah, I remember being really scared of irradiated engines at one point.
Last edition, for those of you who did not know, irradiation engines were a flamer template that was base AP3, poison 2+, and it had a rule called torrent, which means that you could scoot the flame template up to 12 inches away from the model that was shooting it and then turn it any which way, which means that these guys would tear through power armor. Any tactical marine on the board was not safe from their wrath. And it was a little bit of a feels bad thing. It didn't stop me from cackling with glee every time I did it, but you know. The irradiation engines are not, they're not to be feared anymore. They got nerfed to AP5, and torrent got taken away as a rule. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So don't take the irradiation engines unless you are specifically writing a 3 Mile Island list. And you're just putting all the irradiation weapons in the same list, because that's
what do you mean by a 3 Mile Island list?
Nuclear waste, baby, IRAD.
You guys are even of the appropriate age that you would remember the 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant meltdown.
I do.
Like,
I'm just wondering exactly how you are simulating that purely with Mechanicum. Are you using nothing but IRADs?
Yes. I'm going to open the list right now because I have it written on my new recruit.
Oh, this will be funny.
Those would be good coming out of that big drill.
We've got
the really big one, like the one that's like 2 foot long.
Yeah, the Actaist.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, you had me at radiation, which means war crimes. Okay, so that's
yeah.
I'm
Basically,
right there.
any model that can take an IRAD has one. The Archmagos, the Magos, the Tech Priest, the It runs a Karachnos assault tank, which has the radiation airburst mortar. It has 2 Krios tanks that both have irradiation blasters on them. It's got 6 Vorax, with 3 of them upgraded with irradiation IRAD, whatever that upgrade is. IRAD Cleanser, that's what it's called. 2 Volterax with their radiation airburst missiles. It's got 4 Myrmidon Destructors with irradiation, 5 of them with Darkfire, and then some Myrmidon Secutors as well. It's a Myrmidex primary list. But it's 3,000 points of, this is as many IRAD weapons as I could stuff into the list.
Okay.
Which I think is an absolute vibe. It's a cool list concept. It may not play out super well on the table, but has impeccable style.
See, all you have to do to get Duncan to wake up is say war crimes or something along that line, and he like perks up with like his ears. Whoop.
So the issue for me is that okay, I was here for our last recording.
Yeah.
And I tried to wrap my head around as much as I could. And I'm sitting here doing the same again tonight. And I'll be honest, some of this is going in one ear and out the other. I'm trying to get it. I really am.
Okay, then let me
But
adjust.
war crimes really just kind of struck a right note for me. It woke me up.
So let me change tack a little bit going from here on out. I'm going to spend a little less time talking about the units and more about how they fit into lists, because that's what we're all here for.
Works for me.
Myrmidon Destructors, like I said, are now in plastic. They look really good. And they come 6 to a box, which is unusually generous for GW. So, I don't know what's going on there. I'm a little bit suspicious. We've got 2 varieties of Castellax next. This one is in the heavy assault slot. Castellax Destructors are heavy weapons. They can take the aforementioned Darkfire cannons or multi-meltas, and they come with Armor Breaker 4+. I like running these guys. A little bit of Darkfire helps take out Terminators at range. Light anti-vehicle work as well. And they look really good in a Robot Rumble list, because they're the same Castellax that we know and love, but they've got the big guns on their shoulders. It's worth noting, the plastic kit only comes with 1 of each heavy weapon. So it can be a little bit tricky if you're building plastic Castellax to get a full unit of Darkfires or multi-meltas. That being said, there is totally not a free Castellax STL by our Lord and Savior Code Walrus that is 7 parts, as opposed to the frickin' 70-something of plastic Castellax. And you didn't hear it from me, folks.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Yep.
An STL.
So, yeah, Castellax are plastic, but it's a little bit hard to get all of these heavy weapons. That being said, if you're assembling a lot of Castellax, you will probably have a lot of these weapons left over, because Castellax like to be taken in big ol' herds this edition.
I like herds.
They're big dumb cows that just sit out in the field in the middle of the table, and they're
like
really annoying to get rid of. There's a lot of beef.
I like how that's Jackson put. I like beef.
Good Castellax. Castellax are good beef. It's 50 points. It gets you 4 wounds of T7 with a 3-up save and a 5-up invuln. Like, they're beefy. Beefy little boys. We'll move on. Other heavy assault, Ursarax. These guys are... So what if we took those Thalax that were in the starter box? You know, they've got the little jetpacks and the guns. What if we gave them lightning claws and power fists instead, and we just fucking turned them loose?
I think these things touched me in my not naughty spot last year at Adepticon.
I'd be surprised if they did under 2nd edition rules. They were pretty.
Weren't these the ones that
freaking
killed
terrible.
Mortarion one time?
No, that was a different one, and he touched me in my naughty spot too.
Okay.
These guys will absolutely touch you in all of the no places this edition, though. And if you take them in the Lacrimarta Apex detachment, which you probably should be doing if you're taking Ursarax, you should probably build your list around them. They can be prime specimens, the absolute finest to come out of the Archmagos' flesh forges. They've got only the choicest steroids injected directly into their muscles. And they go up to from 2 wounds base to 3 wounds, which is pretty bulky. You can take them with lightning claws or with power fists, and man, will they turn out some damage. They are stuck at weapon skill 4. You cannot guide them up to weapon skill 5 through some rules quirks, but that's okay. You don't need to out weapon skill those tacticals when you have 5 attacks each. You're going in with like 45 lightning claw attacks, just there's little bits of tacticals all over the ground.
Overkill's already been achieved.
Oh yeah. Ursarax they're fun to build a list around because it's just they're true cyborgs. They're not robots. It is a human head and spinal column that is dropped into a suit of armor, and then they trigger the pain receptors to drive them absolutely loco and say, go and blend. It's worth noting, Mechanicum is probably the most evil army, like even more so than the Word Bearers. In the 31st millennium, Mechanicum, nobody can scratch the level of casual cruelty that Mechanicum has in the fluff, in the lore of this game. Like, Word Bearers are like Skeletor; they're Saturday morning cartoon villains. Yeah, the Mechanicum is like,
God damn it, Jamie.
should we like if we lobotomize the entire population of this planet, we can achieve a 0.02% production increase. Do it. It's casual cruelty and viciousness on an inhuman scale. And that goes for Loyalist and Dark Mechanicum in equal measure. Like they're both horrible.
You like the fists or not?
I do like the fists, actually. I will sprinkle a couple fists into a unit here just as like character insurance. And I am actively plotting on having a full unit of 9 with the fists. Like just the whole unit is fists, and going to punch some Terminators because the fists are a free upgrade. This unit is not expensive, and it can go trade with like Thunderhammer, Justarin. It'll trade all day with them. By trade, I mean all of the Ursarax will die, but that's okay because you only spent like 200 some points on them. Most of the Justarin will also die, but your opponent spent a lot more than 200 points on them.
I am not liking this because I know how much Justarin cost.
Yep. I'm not going to bore you guys with the actual math because I am a math nerd. I am an engineer by day. I have run the math for it. They kill like 5 or 6 Justarin, and then it goes to a second round of combat because the Justarin can't kill all of them in that first round of combat without really good dice. And so then you get to kill like 2 more Justarin, and now you've maimed a unit of Justarin and lost 1 of your 3 units of Ursarax.
Considering I know how much Justarin costs and how many points that I sink into units of them, I don't like that trade-off at all. Because that sounds like a 500 point-ish loss for the Justarin.
Yep. We're not always in this game for raw combat efficiency.
No.
But I love a unit that can trade up. I love a unit that doesn't have to be a bully and always like punch down. Oh, I'm this big stumpy unit. I'm gonna go punch those tacticals. And I like having a unit that's custom built for going into a really big beefy unit and just taking it apart and trading up like that. That's one of the joys that I have in this game. Oh, I can't say enough positive things about Ursa X. They're tons of fun. They're also plastic now. They have a box of 6. I believe it has 3 sets of fists in it and then 6 sets of lightning claws.
Yep.
So GW is clearly pushing you to a build, but they're really good little plastic models. They look great. Let's move on to Tech Thralls. I was so enthusiastic about Lacrimarta's first offering. I'm gonna get really down about Tech Thralls, guys. Like, put me on the watch, because these guys are not it this edition for me. They're 10 points a model for Tech Thralls. You're paying the same points as Tactical Marines for Tech Thralls. They've got an unbelievably crappy gun. It does nothing. They are weapon skill 2 in melee. That means that they are hitting Tactical Marines on 6s. These guys they're T5. They are T5. I will say that about them. But don't expect them to kill anything in melee or at range. They are really good at standing on objectives and scoring points. And they're really obnoxious to remove because they are T5. So you can put them in front of your robots as bubble wrap, and your opponent will go pop the bubbles, and it's really fun for them. It's like an enrichment activity for Marine players. You know how they at the zoo they fill up the pumpkin with ground beef and then they toss it in the tiger enclosure. This is enrichment for you guys. You get to go tear apart the ground beef filled pumpkin.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, let's bring it. Never mind. That's just.
Yeah. Tech Thralls are not it. I don't like them. They have some. They recur. If you put an HQ in the model, you can assemble new Tech Thralls in the middle of battle, which is fun. But GW has they've fun-proofed it. GW has taken all of their license to try and remove the fun from reassembling new zombies. If any of you have played Fantasy and you're like, oh, remember that cool ability where necromancers could add more zombies to the unit, or they could bring more skeletons back to the Tomb King stuff? And remember how you could do it at a scale where it was fun? Where like you added like 20 new zombies to the unit, and it was like, oh my god, this is starting to grow out of control. They've taken the fun out of it. You can do maximum 4 of them per turn.
So no endless time,
no. There's no way to cheese it.
Yeah.
There's no way to cheese it. If there was a way to make it to make an endless tide of Tech Thrall, I would be on board with that. But they've taken the fun out of it. There's a meme play here. You can use the Tech Thralls as a suicide unit with the Omega Protocol's Cybertheurgy power. It blows up the entire Tech Thrall unit, and then does a number of Strength 6 auto hits to any unit that they were in melee with. 2 auto hits per Tech Thrall that died. So you can do a hilarious number of wounds to whatever they're in melee with. But you probably just sacrificed a 400-point Tech Thrall unit to do so, which is... it's fine. I want to love this. You guys can tell how much I love Mechanicum, and I want to love Tech Thralls, but I just don't think they're at this edition. They're good to fill out points, hold objectives, and that's all I can vouch for them for. Let's move on. Thalix, these guys are in the starter box. They are plastic. They come with all of the weapon options, and they can take all the weapon options. These guys, every single Thalix model can upgrade their basic lightning gun to a special weapon, which can be a phased plasma fusel, a photon thruster, or a multi-melta. All of it is good.
I love these guys.
Yeah. Matt plays a lot of Thalics, so I bet you've seen your share of them.
I have 9 myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys are tons of fun. They're really fast. They've all got jump packs as standard, so they're just floating around the battlefield. They're absolutely nailing the Muhammad Ali. They're floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
And hilariously, now that they have 3 base attacks and they're 3 wound models, I believe.
They're down to 2 wounds now, unfortunately.
Or are they 2? They just are absurdly good at punching people in hand-to-hand combat too.
They actually did get a significant upgrade this edition to their close combat power. And they can all take melt bombs too.
Yep.
Which is great for blowing the absolute crap out of a predator or something. So lots of good stuff. Lots of stuff to love here. I do think they're a little fragile. They're T5. They're 2 wounds. They're a 3-up save. But I have found that my Thalics die to bolter fire at a pretty decent clip. I will recommend, instead of loading up on every single model with a special weapon in here, I'd say take like 2 of the standard lightning gun guys and use them as the ablative wounds so that you don't lose damage output as the unit degrades. But
and the lightning gun itself is not bad, and it causes a suppressive check, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah. The basic lightning gun is pretty decent as far as basic guns go. It's 3 shots at strength 5 with a status check. It has assault, so you can double tap pretty easily with it. I like them. And they're plastic now. So they're in pretty much all of the starter sets. They're in the battle box. They're in the combat patrol. You can get your hands on a good number of them. I see we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to speed round through the last of this stuff, and so we can talk about a list. Castellax, we've already talked about them with the heavy weapons. This has the stock Mauler bolt cannon. It's not to be underestimated. These guys are beefy. They sit in the center of the table. They hold objectives. They pour out an absolute ton of volume fire. Lots of shots from their fist bolters and their Mauler bolt cannon. They come with Implacable Advance and Firestorm, which gives you your second shooting phase when you charge. Get a lot of Mechanicum stuff has the double tap ability. It's really powerful. I believe Jack was talking about convincing him on the Thanatars earlier. These guys are the biggest robots that you can get with Mechanicum. They are very, very tough. They've got lots of wounds, and they have some pretty good guns as well. The basic one is the Kavas Plasma Mortar, which is a 5-inch blast with some breaching on it. It's pretty solid at taking down just whatever's in its way. The Calyx configuration has the big fuck-off las cannon over its shoulder, which is Mechanicum's premier anti-tank option. It's strength 10. It's damage 4 when you're stationary, thanks to ordnance, and it comes with 2 shots, which means that this thing can absolutely crank out some damage on land raiders.
Jesus.
And then you can easily buff it to ballistic skill 5, so it becomes a little more reliable, and it is really hard to kill this thing. It's just so bulky.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I'm building a list with 4 of them right now.
Yep. I think four personally for me is a little overkill. I own 2 of the Calyxes. At least 1 goes in every list. Mechanicum is hurting a little bit for anti-Land Raider firepower, specifically anti-AV-14. So the Calyx does a good job of filling that gap and providing that firepower. One of the other options, though, is the Armiger Moirax. It's a walker, like a Contemptor. It comes with a great set of loadouts. The basic Volkite thing, I don't remember its name, is pretty unimpressive, but you can upgrade to the Graviton Pulsar, which is a 3-inch blast with pinning and shock pinning on it, which is fantastic for stopping a Land Raider in its tracks before it can drop off a load of angry Terminators. Why would you want to stop it in your tracks? Because on the other arm, you can put the Siege Claw, which is strength 13, strength either 12 or 13, and damage 4 or 5 on a melee weapon, it's going to pulp a vehicle pretty quick. I like these guys a lot. You can also throw the big conversion beamers on them, which do step up to AP2 at long range, and I think that double C-beams probably have a play. They're not personally my cup of tea. I don't own one, but I've heard from other people that they like them and that they're effective. Also, Moiraxes give you an in to playing Knights, because you can take them off the Armiger detachments, and it's real easy to pick up a second army if you've got a couple Moirax sitting around. All right, the Triaros is the heavy transport. It's a Land Raider in a faction that doesn't need Land Raiders. A lot of our stuff doesn't fit at a transport. A lot of it is bulky or it's automata, so it can't even get into a transport. There's very little that actually wants to take a Triaros because they are 200 points each, which is...
Jesus.
I think, yeah, it's
a bit of a punch.
It's very expensive, and it doesn't even come with the las cannons that you get on a Land Raider. It comes with Volkite calivers on the front.
Yeah, no.
So, Myrmidon Secutors kind of like one, but they're already expensive to begin with. Silax also like a transport, but they're extremely expensive to begin with when you take a bunch of them in an Arcuator, and then you're adding another 200 points on top. It's just, most of the time it's a miss. It has a little funny ramming bonus for ramming stuff, but I have yet to actually use it in a game. So, that being said, it's plastic now. You don't have to buy the big warped block of resin that old Triaros used to be. I actually have one sitting on my shelf, and I don't know if I'm even going to assemble it this edition. We'll come back off of that and then back onto the hype, because next up is Vorax. They are a fast attack choice, and they are my favorite unit in the Mechanicum book.
This is what killed Mortarion in first edition, Duncan.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. So these guys are they're little praying mantis bugs, robots, but they're huge. They're on 60 millimeter bases. Like they dwarf a tactical marine, and they are. I love this model. I love the freaky mantis, like bulging eyes, and like the arms with the rotor cannons and the power blades on them. I think that these guys are some of the coolest models that Forge World has ever made. They are unfortunately only available in resin.
The kit's not that bad. I have like 6 or 9 of them. I don't remember.
I've got 6 of them on my shelf. I'm printing 6 more of them. They're so much fun. I love these little guys. Here's why I love them. They are so fast. They are base move 10. They are fast 2. We have access to the Quicken Cybernetica status that gives them +1 movement and +1 initiative. That means if you get to go first, you rush these guys, and they rush 18 inches across the table and park themselves right in front of your opponent. And once they're there, they are T5, 4 wounds each, with a 3-up save and a 5-up invuln. And they're pretty deadly in melee. If you can double buff these guys. So if you cast Quicken and Fortify on them, they're now T6 as well. So bolters are going to have trouble actually killing them. And your opponent's going to have to dedicate real weaponry to killing these guys. Which means, and they're pretty tough to kill even with like las cannons. You need at least 2. You need 2 unsaved las cannons in order to kill just one of them. There's a huge firepower investment to kill these Vorax. And that means that the rest of your army just has carte blanche to walk up the field. Not have to worry about getting shot, because the Vorax are going to be eating all of the fire. If your opponent ignores the Vorax and doesn't kill them, then they get to charge. They've got twin rotor cannons and lightning guns up top. They can upgrade to IRADs. They're only weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, but that's okay. We have guide. They're actually a weapon skill and ballistic skill 4 when you need them to be. They throw out 5 attacks each in melee. Power blade arrays will slice and dice through most everything in the game. They've got they've got breaching and shred, so they become damage 2 on their breaches, and they can slice through terminators. These guys are it for me. I think everyone kind of looked at them and said, ew, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3 when the edition came out, but I have loved these guys, this edition. I think they're one of my favorite things in the faction right now. They can also charge. They can make a 20-inch charge. Like they walk 11 inches. They set up 5, and then they charge the better of 2d6 plus 2 from fast. Like these guys can absolutely book it across the table. They will be getting a turn 1 charge if you go second.
All right.
Now that I've fanboyed all over the Vorax, let's move on to Volterax, because they're also cool. I know, Duncan, I think last week you said that you'd had a bad experience with these guys.
That was me. Yeah, I fought 4 of them at once.
Yeah, the floating iBots. They got an incredible upgrade this edition as well. They have very dangerous missile launchers, which are strength 10, AP 2, damage 2, and phage toughness on that. They're extremely reliable at handing out that phage toughness. They also carry the Arc Blaster, Central Cannon, which is just a status machine on vehicles. It's got 6 shots with shock suppressed. You're going to roll a 5 or 6 and ping a status onto whatever you shoot. And being able to lock down like a Melta Kratos or something and just keep it snapshotting all game is very, very powerful. Volterax they're it. They're a little bit difficult to fit into a list because they're cheap and they are not slot efficient to get into a detachment, but that's a problem for another day. Like they're good enough to include. They're now in plastic. They have a beautiful new plastic sculpt that comes with the Skitarii Battle Force thing, and it's absolutely worth picking some up. I own 2 of them. I think I'm gonna stay with 2. I don't think I need to go to 4 of them, but 2 is a good number. Next up, the Karachnos is the war crime wagon, as it's affectionately known in the Mechanicum community. This thing it's the most fun you can have doing something that Rowboat Guilliman disapproves of. So they come stock with a Karachnos mortar battery. It's a 5-inch pie plate of hot radioactive death. It's pinning 3. Like if you need to stick a pin on something, this is the way to do it. It's also poison 2+. Its AP is negligible, but it's gonna cook at least one guy underneath it. It's gonna stick phage toughness, and it's gonna stick a pinning 3 onto whatever it shoots at. It's also got a pair of lightning lock sponsons, which are really, really good. They're 3-inch blast of marine mulchers. They also breach. It gives it a lot of flexibility to pick out different targets for its main gun and its sponsons, and contribute with all of them at the same time. The Karachnos is very efficient at doing what it does. It has a beautiful plastic model that came out in the Mechanicum Heavy Support box, which is, I would consider that box a must-buy. If you are playing Mechanicum, you should buy the Heavy Support box. It comes with the Thanatar Calyx, the Karachnos, and the Krios tank. All 3 of them are great. The Krios tank, speaking of, it's a fantastic little tank. It is incredibly fast. It zips around the field and then has a lightning cannon down the center line, which is one of the best tank-mounted guns in the game, in my humble opinion. It's a 5-inch blast. It's strength 7. It's AP3 base. It breaches up to AP2. It shreds up to damage 3. It's cheap. It's cheerful. It's flexible. It's fast. You can get up to 4 of them in a detachment. Lots of fun. Can't speak highly enough about Krios tanks. You can replace that, if you would like, with an Irradiation Blaster, which is more war crime. But I think it struggles a little bit into non-mortal armies. Like, Solox, this thing is a bête noire. They do not want to see an Irradiation Blaster Krios roll up. But against basic Marines, most of the time it's going to bounce. That being said, it does get to damage 4 on the ordnance profile for the Irradiation Blaster, which can be really silly if you manage to stick it. The third option for the Krios, because it didn't have enough, is the Krios Venator, which brings a Pulsar Fusel. It's a anti-Terminator, anti-light vehicle, anti-dreadnought gun. This thing sacrifices all of the speed. It is a turret because it has ordnance firepower. If you move it, you cut your number of shots in half. And so you basically have to park this thing in your deployment zone and just accept that it is not going to move all game. You got to point it in the right direction, and you got to hope that its targets are there, because it ain't moving. That being said, I think it's boring but good.
Does it have like arcs?
It is a front mounted, I believe. So it's got a normal 45 degree front arc. So it's not punishing. It's not centerline mounted.
Right.
But
Centerline's not nearly as punishing as people think, because you can pivot for free, and that doesn't count as movement. So you can reposition something however you want. So front mounted and centerline mounted, pretty much the same thing, because you're not going to be moving technically according to the rules while still getting those shots off.
Yeah, I would love if this thing could move and shoot. Even if it was like heavy firepower and it had 3 shot space and went up to 4 when it was stationary, I would move that around. Because it's a zippy little tank. It's like move 16 or something.
Jesus.
Scrolling.
That's quick.
Give me a second.
Move 16. That's
I thought it was 14.
It's a bit speedy.
It's move 14.
Yeah.
So I wasn't far off. But yes, it's a very speedy little tank, and the Venator can't use any of that speed. Let's move on to the demon engines. We got the Bloodslaughterer, is everyone's favorite little spindly spider thing. They're huge. These guys they fit comfortably on a 130 millimeter base. They're resin only right now, and probably will remain that way for a while. But they are much cheaper than you'd expect. They are 50 points. They go pretty fast as well, and they have a very dangerous melee weapon. But man, these guys are physically bulky. They will take up space on the table, and I think that is useful. I think that being able to shove these guys over the center line first turn and just say deal with them. Deal with these guys that are taking up space. You can't move past them. You can't move underneath them. You have to kill them first. I think that brings value to a Mechanicum army. The other thing I think is really interesting, they have an upgrade for a ranged weapon, the Impaler Harpoon, which brings Phage Initiative to the table, which I think is unique. I don't think any other army in the game gets Phage Initiative.
I don't think so.
Are they weapon skill 4 this edition?
They're weapon skill 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we have guide. So they're actually weapon skill 4 when it matters.
And they get impact attacks, so they swing it at 6 attacks on the charge.
They do. They have a lot of attacks. Their melee weapon is very good, and I think it's really interesting. Even if you don't, stick the Phage initiative on whatever they're charging, you could potentially use it as a drive-by for what someone else is charging, and that can pull off a 2-point initiative swing, where you're increasing your own initiative with Quicken and you're decreasing your opponent's with Phage. And I think that's interesting. I haven't come up with a super great scenario for it yet, but give me time. I'm working on it. It's in the tank. I like Blood Slaughterers this edition.
I've got 3 of them here at the house.
Oh yeah,
I've got one assembled, and the other 2 I haven't even tried yet.
Yeah, they're great.
I got the parts for like 10 of them. I'm thinking about it.
I would think very strongly. You can take them in units of up to 4. I would think very strongly about it. I like these guys. Unfortunately, I don't like the Decimator. It's a bulked up Domitar. It's a totally not a Leviathan. Back from the Badab days, I want to say. Forge World originally made these models during like the Imperial Armor 6 Badab War.
Oh yeah, yep.
They did.
It's a nifty model, but it's not anything to write home about on the table. They're limited to 1 model per slot. You can't squad them up like normal automata. You can't take you can take 4 Domitars in a unit. You can only take 1 Decimator. I don't think they're it. They're not strong enough. Oh, they're an elite slot as well, so they're kind of hard to get in the army. It's for me. It's a really cool model. It's a shame that they're not like Leviathan stats. Their main problem is that they are not AP2 on the melee weapons. They're AP3 with breaching, and that just kills all of the utility for them for me.
Yeah, but they're only 125 points, so
yeah. They're not a personal preference. If you can, if anyone listening to this cast can make one work, reach out to me. Like clue a brother in. I want to love them, but I don't this edition. Let's dip into characters and Lords of War. We've got the Brass Scorpion.
My favorite.
Oh yeah. Chef's kiss this edition. It's very, very good.
I have a problem with the points.
It is 600 points.
It needs to be 666 points.
You know what? I'll accept this. So the Brass Scorpion is it's not a knight unit type. It's not a super heavy. It is it's a regular automata, which means that a lot of random stuff works on it. It does have a special rule that means it can't get locked in combat, which is really nice because it also comes with implacable advance. So you are you're volley firing the big gun, the tail gun, and the big panic flamers, which means you're going to get a lot of work out of this thing just over the course of the battle as your opponent is killing it. And like on turns that on your turn it's shooting, and then it's doing volley fire. On your opponent's turn it's doing potentially a return fire and a volley fire. Like, you're getting a lot of use out of the Brass Scorpo. Also, it is 15 wounds with Eternal Warrior 1.
Duncan's like,
So
15 with Eternal Warrior 1, you say?
And do you know how much Battlesmith Mechanicum has in a regular army?
No, but I'm thinking
you could tell us.
If your opponent does not kill the Brass Scorpion in a single turn, if it has even one hope, if it even has one wound left, you can trivially repair it back to full. Your opponent has to one round it, or they will never kill it.
I'm liking this plan already.
there's more, because what kills stuff with lots of wounds and Eternal Warrior?
Scoria.
Blast cannons.
Bolters.
Demolisher cannons.
Ooh.
Right? Damage 6. Strength 12, damage 6. So, Eternal Warrior reduces that to damage 5, which means you need, 3 Demolisher cannons to kill it. You can join HQs to the Brass Scorpion because it's an Automata model. So you can join a Sacrificial Tech Priest to this guy. And the Demolisher Cannon, he's just gonna play Get Down, Mr. President. He's gonna jump in front and eat the whole 6 damage from that Demolisher Cannon and die in a blaze of glory, and maybe make his 6-up feel no pain. And protect the Brass Scorpion from that Demolisher Cannon.
Okay.
It's such a dirty trick. So I love the Brass Scorpo. He's coming to Adepticon with me. I am absolutely going to play him in one day of the Phoenix events. And of course he'll be at the Big Ass game. Let's go to the Khitan, who's the other Lord of War. This is the unholy spawn of a Cerastus Knight and a Demon. Specifically the Khorne Lord of Skulls. The guy that's melded onto a tank, and he looks really doofy.
They left the tank.
Yep, they take the top half of that and they put him on Cerastus legs, and now he's a real leggy boy.
When Mommy Cerastus and Daddy Demon meet.
Yeah. So the Khitan was an unholy abomination last edition. It's been tuned down. It's only weapon skill 6 now. Weapon skill 4. It used to be weapon skill 6.
Yeah, it used to be kind of not
It
friendly.
used to be ungodly, yeah. But what's sillier is that big ass cleaver that he's carrying is only damage 2.
What?
What?
Yeah. It has Shred
Well,
3 up. I think it has Shred 3 up. But against a vehicle, it's only damage 2.
The
It's so
Cerastus Knight Castigator's sword's only damage 2, I think, as well. 2 or 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most giant
It's
weapons
just
aren't
like-
super high damage.
Yeah.
So,
Cleaver of Slaughter, yep. Damage 2, Shred 4 up.
so what I've discovered is, due to my lack of models, I have a lot of Dark Mechanicum models.
Yes.
Jack, you just like rolling that.
It is a very conversion-friendly faction as well. Like, you can build a lot of cool stuff with this. So the Khitan, what I do want to talk about is it's incredibly fast. This
Yep.
guy will book it across the table. And have you guys read the Explodes rules for this edition?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got 14 wounds. So when he explodes, he does 14 strength 8 hits to everything within 6 inches of him. So the way I see this guy is he is a mobile bomb.
He's definitely going to be very serious.
You've always been if you play in big games, they were always mobile bombs. Like, people would see them on the table and like literally would dump an entire Warlord Titan into it, trying to get it to chain reaction into other stuff nearby. So like, you'd always put the Brass Scorpions over by themselves, they put what's her name over in the corner because nobody wants to be near it when it either is attacking stuff or blowing up.
Nobody
So
put baby in the corner.
Yeah.
yeah,
It harkens back to the old 40k Apocalypse rules in like 3rd edition for the Brass Scorpion, where it went with a vortex explosion or whatever. Yeah. So we do like the Khitan. He's fun. Strangely unkilly though. Like, only damage 2 on the melee weapon seems a little bit funky. Anakaris Scoria is the Primarch tier combat character of Mechanicum. He beats up half of the Primarchs in the game and takes their lunch money.
he was pretty good in the last edition too. If I remember.
He was also good in first edition.
In first edition, he was unfun
Yeah.
He was
in first edition.
beatable. He was unfortunate and pleasant in first ed.
Yeah, Samson touched me in my no naughty spot with it, and then a guy passed out next to us and broke the table.
So Anakar Scoria is a character for Mechanicum. He is the Archmagos of Xana 2, which is the quintessential trader Mechanicum Forge world. It's the lovely cream armor and steel scheme that you see a lot of stuff done in. It's a very popular army to paint, and Anakar Scoria is the big boss of that. He's a big scorpion. He has a lovely Forge World model. It is one of the best that they've done. He is an enormous pain to build, I've heard. I do not own his official model. I have a conversion for him. But he is very, very cool. Like, physically as a model.
He is one of the models that I don't know if I'd ever want to paint, just because of how complex it is.
Yes,
It's got a lot going on.
Best done in a lot of sub-assemblies. He's got some interesting typing. He is a type Walker champion, so he cannot join units because he's not command or specialist, and nothing can join him because he's a Walker. So he is well and truly on his own. You cannot join him to a bunch of meat shield tech priests or anything. He is on his own. Thankfully, he has 9 wounds of Eternal Warrior and can be fixed. So if your opponent does not one-round him, he is back to full.
And fix himself with Battlesmith 4.
Oh yeah, he'll also fix himself with Battlesmith 4.
Oh God.
And he double
Eternal
casts.
Warrior 1?
Yep. 9 wounds with a 2-up armor save, a 4-up invuln, and a 5-up feel no pain. He will absorb an entire army's worth of shooting in a turn. He may or may not die. But if he doesn't, he's fixed. He will plow through pretty much everything in combat. I've had him flawless victory a Guilliman, which, I mean, one of the wimpier Primarchs, let's be honest, right?
He can only throw so many spreadsheets and pencils at you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no,
But,
Josh got muted somehow on the podcast. I don't know what happened.
I have had him fight the lion to an absolute standstill. They both won the last round of the challenge on 1 wound, but the lion did win.
If you do remember the fluff, I think the whole reason he's out running around is because the Dark Angels let him out of an AdMech prison. So
You are correct. The Dark Angels went to Xana to steal some Ordinatuses, and they accidentally left his prison door unlocked.
Oops, our bad.
God damn it.
They did get the Ordinatus.
They did get them, yeah. But at what cost? So he's tons of fun. I do not play a Xana army, but I bust him out for Apocalypse games and stuff, and he is a load of fun on the table. I'm keeping track of how many Primarchs he's killed. I'm currently at 3. I would like to at least double that by the end of this edition.
Sounds like you need to fight a Mortarian, huh?
We can arrange it. I'll drive out to Lansing for you. So up next, we've got our other named character, Archmagos Yelov Dragovac, who is from the Forge World of Cyclothraith. He is heavily featured in a lot of the Forge World Black books, and he's basically Skeletor. Like, he does the whole Skeletor exit thing. Like, he'll go "Nyah" and run away in the middle of battle. It's great. And your opponent will score no points for Slay the Warlord if he does that.
I thought he was a fucking sneaky Russian for a minute.
Yeah, pretty much. He's kind of... Otherwise, he's kind of eh. He's got fixed cyberthurgy powers. He's pretty cheap for what you get from him, but he doesn't bring anything to the table that's truly unique aside from his Skeletor. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like Scoria level, so
yeah, no. But he's got a cool model. His model from Forge World also builds a generic Archmagos. You can change out his cool skeletal horse head for a regular Archmagos head, so it does double duty. And he's got the cool battle pulpit. I'm going to briefly, very, very briefly, cover the legacy PDF units, mostly because my favorite unit is in here, Arlatax. It's a Domitar. They put rocket boosters on the back of it. They replaced its fists with Blendo claws, like blender fists, and then they said, "Go and kill." I love the idea of this. They are so much fun to play on the table. You can have a unit of up to 4 of them, just like a Domitar. They've got autocannons, they've got a plasma cannon on their back, and they're gonna go punch stuff. It's pure like that. This is one of the units that brought me to the faction, and I love them to death.
Is there a model for this?
And there's a Legions Imperialis model.
Okay.
But there are 2 STLs, 3 STLs for an Arlatax now. One of them is from Realm of Gears, Patreon, Risenvoth, who I will forever stand Risenvoth. He is an excellent 3D modeler, makes a ton of gorgeous stuff, and recently just got hit with a big DMCA. Rip.
They always do.
And then the other big one is from the STL, the 3-in-1 STL that you were referencing earlier, Jack.
Okay.
So, but both of them are beautiful sculpts, and a lot of love that's been put into them, and it's tons of fun on the table. Mechanicum can bring termites as well. I don't know why you would. They're not good. We don't have Master of Signals to make them show up on time. We can also bring tarantulas, just like Legion ones. Jack, I think you have thoughts on tarantulas.
John made me do it. That's my thought.
Yeah, they're just as good in Mechanicum as they are in Legions. Nothing more to say there. Finally, we have the Macro Carrot Explorator, which is an old discontinued Forge World model. It is an Armor 14 box with a flare shield, and it has a very silly Graviton Imploder gun on top.
Is that the old AdMech Land Raider thingy?
Yep,
Yep.
it sure is. It's discontinued off of Forge World. You can't get them anymore unless you go to a third party that produces illicit copies. But not that anyone on this cast would ever do such a thing.
No, never.
Nope.
But that thing wasn't out very long, if I remember.
No,
correctly.
the mold got stolen. Is the scuttlebutt?
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have a first party source on that. This is just scuttlebutt that's been repeated over and over on the internet. But either way, it's there if you want it.
Is it decent, or is it
fine.
not worth it?
It's fine. It's like a Land Raider.
Yeah.
It's got some silly guns that can go on it, but it's not an assault transport, and it only has a transport capacity of 12. And a lot of Mechanicum shit is bulky.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I know we are going long here. This is a long episode, so I am going to probably drop this list, the sample list that I have, in the show notes for you guys. You guys can.
I have questions first, though.
Okay, let's.
Well, I have multiple questions. The Mechanicum Ordinatus Ultra, whatever it is.
Which one?
The big gun.
There's 2 big guns. There's the
Sonic
gun, and then there's the volcano death gun.
Is the volcano death gun that makes everybody cry?
The Sonic gun's probably worse.
The Sonic
the
gun.
Bellicosa is absolutely identical to the one you see on the Warlord Titan, which means it is a 3-inch blast.
Okay.
Strength 13, damage 12.
Okay.
Jesus. It's a Titan killer.
Okay.
It's a Titan
The Sonic gun is 7-inch blast, strength 7, AP 3, damage 1, but shred 4 up, panic 4, breaching 6 up.
It's a panic 4.
Yeah,
It's a
or you
panic
can
4 gun.
focus it for 1 shot, strength 10, AP 2, damage 8. Macro aspects, which means it has to target big things, armor bane, and panic 4.
Jesus.
So you can shoot a bunch of people, or you can wound a big thing.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's got the
tight.
macro aspects like all the Titans do. So
And then the other one is the big drill, which is what I have. It's transport 42, so you can fit 14 Myrmidons in it. And it doesn't have the rules where you can take it off the cart anymore, so you have to drill the whole cart up through the hole now.
you remember when Samson got like one of the very first ones of those and built and painted it like at Acon?
Yeah.
Like,
And then they took it to GW and have them put it in their display cabinet.
yeah.
Well, that guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just
No, it's all good.
those last two things
all
I
good.
had questions. So
Yeah, I purposefully didn't include those the Ordinatus units in the newbie guide.
of course I did it.
It's they're Lords of War. They're in the Legacies document, and it's really hard to get them nowadays. So
Yeah, they're also retardedly expensive. If the Sonic one is 750, the laser one is 800, and then the transport is 900. So you're not using it unless you're playing 3500.
Jeez.
yep, you can field the Ulitter in a regular game of 3,000 points, and Panic 4 on a 7-inch blast template is probably a compelling enough reason to do so.
Yep.
So, real quick, I'm gonna do this sample list. I tried to use as much plastic as I could, because this is for new players. It is a Robot Rumble Cybernetica list. You're using as many robots as I can stuff in the list. It uses the Mechanicum Battle Force, the Combat Force, and the Heavy Support box. I think one or two additional boxes of Castellax, and then you'll have to buy Vorax and Domitars in resin, but hopefully they'll be plastic soon. We can hope. But I can't write a list without putting Vorax in it, so go brush up on your resin techniques, everyone. We'll start off with an Archmagos on Abeyant. Oh, nope, this is just a regular Archmagos. The important upgrades for any HQs is going to be a Cortex controller to enable reactions on robots, a Cyber Familiar to cast Cybertheurgy powers more reliably, and Overcharge Reactors, which is the Cybertheurgy power that lets you buff robots. Everything else is largely like do with it what you must. Melee weapons, whatever you like, whatever looks cool on him. Ranged weapons, whatever. It's cool. We're gonna add 2 more Magoses in with those same upgrades, Cortex Controller and Cyber Familiar. We're gonna throw 2 Tech Priests in as well with those same Cyber Familiars. And then one of those we're actually going to make a Reductor Tech Priest instead of Cybernetica. This is so we have someone that can ride with our Thalax and buff them. Thalax are not automata. You have to use a different power to buff them, which is called Deactivate Limiters. One of these also gets us a logistics benefit, which we're going to use on Castellax Destructors, which are the guys with Darkfire cannons. We'll put 4 of them in that unit, and I feel like 4 is a good size for a little bunker that sits on your home objective, scores with a Magos, and chucks out Darkfire all game long. They don't particularly want to move because it's heavy damage, but that plays just fine with that. We'll take an Armored Support detachment to put our tanks in. We will have 1 Karaknos, a Krios battle tank with the lightning cannon, and a Krios Venator with the pulsar fusel. We will take a Combat Pioneer Aux detachment with 6 Vorax in it. Gotta love them. We will take a First Strike Aux detachment with 1 Voltarax in it, which you can get out of the Skitarii box, or now it's available, I think, on its own. We'll take a Tagmata Cohort Aux detachment with 2 units of Thalax in it. One of them with some phased plasma fusels, and one of them with some multi-meltas. This is where we get a little bit of punch coming in. The multi-meltas are going to help against tanks, and the phased plasma fusels will chew through Marines. Then finally, we have the Apex detachment, Command Maniple, which is unlocked through the Cybernetica Archmagos. We're going to have 3 Domitars in it. We're going to have, 6 Castellax with the Mauler bolt cannons as a unit. And then we'll have 1 Thanatar Calyx to round out the list. So that gives us just under 3,000 points to play with. There's some room in there to throw upgrades on your Magi. Give them, real melee weapons or some ranged weapons. And overall, this is a list archetype that is going to do very well into most games of Heresy. Excuse me. It's got a lot of robots in it. They're concentrated into relatively few units, so you don't have to worry about trying to stretch your buffs thin over the battlefield. It allows you to concentrate on playing as simple a game as you can in being Mechanicum, which I realize for everyone here, it's like, how is this simple? But this list is included in the PDF guide that I've tossed up, and I'll send it to you guys for the show notes as well.
Thank you, sir.
This is a good starting point for anyone that's interested in getting into Mechanicum as a primary faction and wants to use as many plastic models as they can. I think that I have run my mouth long enough, gentlemen. It's been a long day of talking.
Thank you, sir.
Do you guys have any final questions for me as we wrap up here?
At 10:40 at night, I do not.
Fair enough.
I have a
Thank
statement.
you, everyone, for listening and coming up with some good questions. Everyone listening, I'm on the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Discord. I'm on most of the other Heresy-related Discords under the username Mr. Nailbrain. Reach out and talk to me if you've got questions on Mechanicum. It's not an easy place to get into. So there's no shame in having questions. There's no shame in coming and saying, hey, how does this work? How do I get into playing this? Hey, you were really enthusiastic on this unit during the review. Can you recommend a list that features that unit? Yes, absolutely I can. I love to yap about this kind of stuff. Please come talk to me. Don't be a stranger. If you want sources for beautiful STLs, and for Mechanicum stuff, and if you have a printer or a friend with a printer and you want to get some of the goodies, come find me. There's resources out there for this kind of stuff, and I'm happy to be a part of this community.
Well, thank you for coming on here and talking to us about something that I definitely, I wouldn't say could not understand, or not would not understand, but definitely could not understand.
It takes some doing. So you guys have been excellent listeners, and I really appreciate it all.
Appreciate y'all coming
Appreciate
on.
you for coming on.
I appreciate it. It definitely helped me with the Mechanicum I'm working on.
Yep, I'm going to do Dark Mechanicum now.
Yep, and everyone, I'll see you in person at Adepticon.
Huzzah!
If anyone listening is there and wants to talk shop or see my Mechanicum army or whatever, it's going to be a great time.
Look forward to seeing you there, man.
All right. John, you want to do that thing?
You know what I got?
Oh, shit. Go ahead,
Hold on. You know what I got out of all these 2 episodes?
A nap?
That was in episode 1 for sure. If Brian was to do a Mechanicum list, it'd be all Thanatars, all Thalax, all day long.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
Absolutely stylish.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
All I'm
Pretty much
hearing is
like building.
All I'm hearing is Dark Mech, Dark Mech, Dark Mech, Dark Mech, Dark Mech.
Dark
I mean,
Mech.
that's all I heard. That's all I play nowadays.
That's their secret. They're all dark mech. It's just some are darker than others.
And on that note, John, go ahead, take us out of here, dog.
thank you everybody for joining us, the 162nd episode of the Heresy Accountabilibuddies Podcast. My name is John, and I've been joined by
Dark Brian.
Lincoln.
Jack.
The prison warden, Jamie.
and guest.
Your friendly neighborhood tech priest, Josh.
And always remember to stay accountable to yourselves, to your buddies, and your hobby. And next week, we're going to go over Prime benefits, so that way you're not wasting stuff when you build your Adepticon list.
Oh, that's what we're doing? Fantastic. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye now, Brian.
Like and subscribe, and see ya.